Hello, friends. Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by From Within Records. Saturday, May 18th, the One Scene unites in the Panhandle. From Within Records Showcase, Spring 2024. Magnitude, Mouse at the Palace, Seed of Pain, Envision, Warren, Collateral, Dimension 6, Statement of Pride, Burning Strong, and Milestone. This will all be taking place at the Handlebar. So please grab your tickets while they're still available. If you're not following From Within Records on social media, please go boot up X, go boot up Instagram, click that follow button to stay up to date on all the current news. And like I always say, please support From Within Records because they support us. If you're looking for high quality merch for your band or for your business, please hit up my friends over at Good Fortune Printing out of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. You can follow them on Instagram at Good Fortune Printing. If you want to get in contact with them, please email them, contact@goodfortuneprinting.com. You can thank me later. We're freshly back from Louisville LDB Fest 2024. And wow, I cannot wait to go back. Obviously, I've been interested in going in a really long time. But for one reason or another, I've just been never able to make it out there. But this year, I told Tyler that it was going down no matter what. I made it a priority this year, and I'm very happy that I did. I'm so thankful for Tyler and Ashton for making the trip worth it. They're amazing. So please go support LDB Records. They're amazing. Ton of awesome bands on there, but from the pre-show to the end of the fest, I was just blown away. The scene in Louisville is awesome. Just running into all the friends that I've made through the internet that live there locally. I was excited to finally be able to meet people like Jim Barron in person, Dave Boggers, Seth, Eli, just people that have been, contributing to the podcast over the years, and people that I've just maintained these relationships with. So it was really awesome to finally get to meet these people in person and for them to be real. The fest was amazing. Well, let me go back to the pre-show. The pre-show was awesome. The venue was this place called Portal. The staff was nice. There was a food truck, plenty of space. But my favorite set of the night was Volcano. That set was insane. So shout out to Volcano. Shout out to everybody that was there going crazy. But first day of the fest, I was really excited to be able to run into my friends from home. Shout out to Stateside. They were on an awesome tour with Koyo, One Step Closer, and Anxious. And it just so happens that that tour was hitting LDB. And to my surprise, they got added last minute to the fest, which I thought was really cool. It was awesome once again to be in another part of the country and seeing kids go off for Stateside. If you remember last year, literally last year, I was in Philly, and it just so happens that my last night in Pennsylvania was the night of Stateside's Pennsylvania tour. So it just worked out, and I made it out to the show. It turns out the show was being booked by Ben Stuckey, former guest of the podcast. So it was cool to have been able to see them in Pennsylvania last year. Fast forward to 2024 and seeing them at LDB and just being able to see the growth, not only like sonically, but just their like fandom. So I'm just very happy for them. I think all those guys are great, and they deserve the success and all good things coming to Stateside. So I'm very proud to not only be their friend, but be a fan and support that band any way that I can. And they have some new singles coming along the way, which I can tell you right now are amazing. I'm not sure the order of the singles coming out, but they're about to release probably my favorite song that they've ever written. If you go back to one of the vlogs, the last vlog that I filmed that Stateside played, I'm pretty sure I put it in the vlog, but they played a new song, and that's one of the songs they're going to release, and it's probably my favorite song that they've put out this far. It's addicting. So shout out Stateside, but also Day One on that same tour package. I love Koyo, right? I've been a long time supporter of Koyo, so just like Stateside, I'm just happy to see them do good and have success because they deserve it. Awesome band. Their discography is flawless. So if for some weird reason you don't know of Koyo at this point, please hit pause, go listen to Koyo. They'll change your life. Awesome band. And also, this was a great opportunity because there's so many former guests of the podcast that was at that fest, but one of the ones that I was most excited to see, Frank from Hatebreed. You might remember way back when we did an episode, a Disney episode, which was awesome. Shout out Frank. So it was cool to finally meet in person. Very gracious with his time. Hatebreed had a crazy set. And so it's always cool to see Hatebreed in like a hardcore setting, right? A hardcore band, but they're on a different scale. So for them to be able to still do shows like LDB, it's always a special treat. So shout out to Frank. It was awesome seeing him. And then also, From Within, shout out. It was always nice being able to see Carter. I was very happy to be able to run into my friend Greg, sings for a band called Hold My Own. We had to talk about a few issues, but I'm very happy that I was able to see him and spend a lot more time than I thought I would with him, because it's not common to be able to hang out with Greg that often because he's so busy. So shout out to Greg. Also, Rebirth Records. There's a crew neck floating back here somewhere. I'm always down to support Rebirth. Awesome label out of Philly. So shout out Bob Wilson. It's always a pleasure to be able to see him and to support that label. They're always doing cool shit. Go on my Instagram. I have this reel on my Instagram, and it's of Scarab, because if for anyone who follows me, I went to Scarab's second show ever in Philly. I can't remember the name of the venue, but I had a reel up there, and I put the reel up specifically because I was just so blown away at the live performance. I was a fan already of the music, but getting to see them live, I was like, all right, this is cool. This is a newer band, and this was like a year ago at this point. So I was like, all right, newer band. I want to, put them on my Instagram profile and help spread the word, because I believe in this band. Awesome people in the band, great music. So I just wanted to do anything that I could to support. So when I knew that they were going to be on the fest this year, I was like, all right, cool. It's been about a year. Let's try to get a new, video to put on my Instagram so we can keep this tradition going. So sure enough, I filmed this, video. I'm pretty sure I filmed it on my phone, so no crazy tech. I actually left my camera bag at the LDB merch table. Filmed this reel. I put it up, and I think nothing of it. But fast forward to like a week later, right? The time that I'm recording this is a week after I put up the reel. It has just been nonstop activity. I don't know who was the reason for this or how it escaped the hardcore bubble, but it's just going crazy, because like all my notifications for like this past week have been generated from this reel. People reposting it, people commenting, people sharing it. It's insane. It literally has over 1 million views, which none of my reels at this point has gotten that crazy. Like 99% of the reels are from clips from the podcast. There's some K-pop stuff and some stuff from shows that I filmed, just like the Scarab video that I'm speaking about. But yeah, this one just kind of broke out and has over 1 million views. So I hope all that traffic goes to Scarab and Rebirth. I hope there's some trickle down effect. People kind of want to dig deeper, are fans of the music, and go support the band and the label, because they're both awesome. So that was crazy, and it's kind of insane, because check my notifications, and it's just like people from I don't even know where talking about devil music, or they want to take their friends to something like this. They want to experience this, which is crazy to me because obviously we're in the trenches, right? Hardcore is our lives. We love this shit. So when something like that kind of breaks out of the bubble, and there's people talking about how they want to experience this or whatever, it's so interesting and kind of funny, because it's like, dude, like I was just at a show over the weekend. That shit's normal, but it's crazy to see how something that's so normal in our lives can be so foreign in somebody else's. But shout out Scarab. Day 2 of the fest was cool. Shout out Tsunami. It was like a water fest at the end of the night. They killed it. There was a lot of water being thrown, and I'm very, very happy that I did not get hit with a water bottle, because as soon as the crowd started throwing them back at the people on stage, it was hard to see, and there was really no defense. So I was prepared to get hit, but luckily we didn't get hit. I was very thankful for that. Weapon X did a First Blood cover, which I had to hit the pit for, because First Blood is amazing. Weapon X is amazing. So great pairing. I was such a fan of that. But all in all, if you saw me, you said what's up, that's cool. I appreciate you. If you saw me and you didn't say what's up, that's cool too. I get it. There was so much going on, because there was people there that I saw that I really wanted to talk to, but obviously timing's everything. I was busy trying to see the bands I wanted to see, but also I wanted to help out Tyler and Ashton and Eric at the LDB table. And also there's Full Bleed merch stuff there too. So I just wanted to play my part, and I think it worked out well. I'm definitely going back next year. That's how much of a great time that I had. So I have nothing but positive things to say about the fest. It was something to remember. Like, here we are, like I said, about a week later, and I'm still riding pretty high on the experience. And especially for it being my first time at the fest, which is, it's hard to, make a first good impression if it, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just rambling. But anyways, first impression was awesome. I love LDB. I love Tyler. I love Ashton. I love Toasties, best burger of 2022, 2023. I hope they win 2024. They deserve it. KFC was mid. Vincenzo's didn't happen. Please, next year, somebody take me to Vincenzo's. I could tell Tyler didn't want to take me. I had asked him so many times leading up to it. But once we were in the city, I could tell he didn't want to go, so I didn't press the issue too much. But somebody, please, let's make time for Vincenzo's. But shout out Inclination, Walk Alone, Two Witnesses. I'm forgetting bands. Hands of God, Big Boy. There's so many great bands that play that weekend. Lineup was insane. I'm not expecting anything less for next year. So please, everyone who is on the fence, just go. It's a great time. It's a great fest, ran professionally. I have not a whole lot of gripes about that fest. So do yourself a favor. Don't wait like I did, because I waited too long to go and experience it. Awesome fest, and I'm looking forward to going back next year. On today's episode, we had to track down some of our friends. They play in a band called Free For All. You might remember some odd months back, we had some members of Out for Blood on the podcast. They did a split with Free For All, and to be honest, that's the whole reason why we're doing this episode. I was a fan of the split, and I was curious about the other half, right? I had on Out for Blood, and I needed to reach out and talk to Free For All and see what the vibe was like, to see, how this whole thing came together, because I was such a fan. I was able to track down Jordan and Ty, two members of the band, and I'm very happy that they were gracious with their time and just super down for hardcore. So I was very happy with the conversation. They just wrapped up a cool tour. I'm a little salty still that they didn't come to California, and I did express that to them. So hopefully on the next run, we can get them in California. Whether I have to book it or if somebody's willing to book it, we'll figure it out. But if you're not familiar with Free For All from Oklahoma, please hit pause and go boot up your Spotify, your Apple Music, your Tidal, your Bandcamp, or whatever, and go search out Free For All. Go listen to the promo 2022, 2023, and the split with Blood For All. It was titled Blood For All, but it's without for blood, excuse me. It's awesome music, and I'm a huge fan, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in the future. So please strap in, enjoy this conversation. Without further ado, welcome Jordan and Ty to the show. Recording. Welcome to the podcast, Ty and Jordan. How's it going, guys?
What's up? Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to have you guys on. You guys both play in a band called Free For All. I'm stoked to see you wearing the merch, repping for your band. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to do the podcast today. But I just want to get straight into the history of Free For All. Can you guys talk about how the band got together?
Yeah. What was it, like 2021?
Yeah.
Around maybe toward maybe like summer 2021 or something. Me and the drummer of Free For All used to be in an older band. And I had asked Ty, I was like, hey, do you want to play guitar for this or something? We were thinking about doing it again. And we actually decided to just do a new band. That's kind of how it started. We're like, oh, we'll just do a whole new thing and do kind of like a different sound. But yeah, just kind of went from there,
Yeah, at the time, the band that he's talking about is a band called Death Trap, which had been around for 10 years?
A while.
Like
something like that.
Just a long-standing Oklahoma hardcore band called Death Trap. And we had been living together were we living together yet?
We were, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe for like a few months by that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was just like, hey, would you want to come play guitar in Death Trap? And I was just like, yeah. And I kind of had, I don't know, a relative idea of like what that sound could be. So that's what ended up being like the first 5 tracks of Free For All. Was kind of like, that was my take on like that old band, but like with a new kind of sound to it. And now I feel like we're just kind of like going in an even newer direction.
Yeah.
So.
And at the time, Ty, were you playing in any bands?
I had taken several years away from playing music. I think I had stepped away for like 6-7 years. I played in some other Oklahoma hardcore bands, but not in a while. So
that's a long time to have stepped away.
Yeah. I was off venturing and I don't know, just trying to do like real life stuff, like just outside of music. But I don't know, like I realized like how miserable I was without like pursuing that as a major part of my life. So I kind of recalibrated and decided to make it more of a priority for myself. And
I'm trying to think back. You guys mentioned 2021. were shows already like, you know, popping off again? Because obviously, you know, the pandemic in 2020, and you know, it took a while for things to kind of, you know, get back to, you know, shows happening at like full swing. So if you guys can remember, like, what was the, you know, scene like at that time out there?
Right.
They were kind of starting to pop off a little bit. We had like you know, a few local bands that were kind of getting things going. Pretty much everybody, well, not everybody, a lot of the people that were coming out were really new. So for a lot of people, this was like their first like experience with it, you know. And then I think, yeah, I don't know, it was like a restart kind of, you know, which I assume other places were kind of like that as well. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I can't really speak for how it was in like the late 2010s because I was not in Oklahoma at the time. But I know, at least from what Jordan has kind of told me, like it kind of dipped off a little bit as it got close to COVID. And then, yeah, like he said, it really did kind of start with like a couple of like younger bands bringing out like their friends for like, it's seemingly like the first time, at least from our perspective.
Right.
So like, specifically to name those bands like Tar Creek and Caustic, like
Otis VCR also.
Yeah, all three of those bands were like, I think, super foundational for like bringing out just like a ton of like teenagers, you know. And yeah, it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I feel like I'm still seeing that like new wave happening because, you know, I try to be in the know as much as I can, but like I swear, like every time I go out to shows out here, there's always just like new kids, which I think is awesome. But I'm always like puzzled. I'm like, where are these people coming from? Like, it's not a bad thing. I think it's awesome because like for me, it's like I'm in the mindset of, like the more the merrier because you know you don't know who's going to be the next person to start a long-standing band, or the next person to, you know, become a promoter and start booking shows and just, you know, kind of putting in work to keep this scene alive. So it's always fascinating to me, you know, especially out here, just because there's just so many people condensed out here, especially with living in Southern California. We have like obviously, you know, I live in Orange County. There's an Orange County scene, and then the LA scene. You know, there's like different scenes divided up, but we're actually all just like one scene because everybody crosses over. We're not that far from each other, but it's awesome.
Dude, I bet there's just a ton of people at any given show out there. Or I assume anyway. That's just middle of the country kind of like perspective, I guess. But
yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, it's rare to have like a dull gig because people are pretty in tune out here, and I feel like the only time there's like low attendance is if there's like competing shows, like if there's multiple shows happening the same night, like not too far from each other. But for the most part, it's like always like a decent turnout, just because like, you know, kids out here, like I said, there's a lot of kids who are passionate and a lot of kids who are willing to travel. And when I say travel, it's not even that far. You know, maybe like, you know, under an hour in any direction.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier, Ty, when you said you joined and you had like these 5 songs, and I look at the releases that you guys have done, and it's been, you know, promo 2022, promo 2023, excuse me, and then the split. Are those the songs that you're speaking of, or are there like unreleased tracks?
Yeah. So those were the first 5 tracks that we kind of wrote together. I had like rough outlines of like kind of what those songs were going to be. Those ended up being promo 22 and 23. And that was kind of, at least from my perspective, like before we decided it was going to be like a completely new band. Like I kind of was keeping that previous band sound in mind when writing those songs, especially.
Definitely like the promo 22.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. So, but since then, like the split, you know, we definitely love like the foundation that those 5 tracks like started for us, you know, but we just wanted to like, I don't know, just experiment with like other sounds. And I only feel like the split is just like a very small like portion of like the direction that I kind of want to go.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so.
And I'm curious, like over the past couple of years, did you guys ever want to like put out like a full on like EP, or were you guys just like okay with the promos and while you're trying to find your footing for like your sound?
We wanted to split those songs up honestly just because just so we're not releasing like 5 songs all at once. We thought it would be cooler to kind of spread it out. That was kind of the only reason. I think at first we were like, we should just do an EP, but then we decided to split them up a little bit. But yeah, we are like doing an EP currently, or like writing one currently. Yeah. So,
and what was it hard like sitting on some of those songs and just kind of splitting them up, like, you know, with those years? Because I feel like it's a long time.
A little bit.
Yeah. But by the time we started playing shows, though, we were playing all the songs already.
Right.
You know, people already kind of heard them.
Yeah.
But
and on top of that, like we recorded promo 22 at the end of 2022 and then 23 at the beginning of 2023. So there wasn't like a very big gap between the two. I think as far as like release time, there might be like 6 months, but overall wasn't like a whole lot of time. And then even after that, there was maybe less than 6. Sorry about the.
It's all good.
Pinging.
It was like 3 months, and then we recorded the split.
Yeah,
yeah.
And that was once we started doing that, doing like small bite-sized chunks, at least to start the band out. I kind of liked that flow of just like hopping in the studio for like a little bit and then going and playing as many shows as we could, at least locally and regionally, and then you know. Because I want to be in the studio for a more substantial amount of time, but it's also nice just being able to like crank out like just a couple songs and then like move on and just like keep playing shows and shit, you know.
Especially as a new band too,
Yeah.
You know, because like I don't know, I feel like you don't want to like release a bunch of songs right away and feel like people aren't really listening to all of them, you know. But if you kind of spread them out, they kind of get more attention, I feel like. So, you know.
Yeah, for me coming late, right? Because I by the time I showed up, 22, 23, and the split was already out, so you know it was all there for me already. And I like the strategy because I always, I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way to do it. So I always just love kind of paying attention to every band's like approach to it, just to seeing how they think it works. So I'm down for it. But I was curious about the first promo. I was reading the credits and said some of it was recorded in your living room, Ty. Can you talk about that?
There was a little bit of it recorded in this room.
So the vocals, right?
Yeah,
some of the vocals.
Yeah. So it's so funny. Actually, that weekend was like a little bit chaotic.
Yeah.
Because shout out Skylar, by the way. Was it his first time recording a hardcore band?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like a mutual friend. He's played in like other bands like in the area, and like when I met him, he was trying to get into like recording hardcore, and we were just like, well, we're a new band, so like let's do it. Like, who cares? And he had like his his studio house of like what, another guy that was living there,
like his brother.
Well, no, this was before that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, basically, like his roommate that was there got really sick like the first day of recording, and like there was just no way we were gonna like finish the promo like with him just sick in the next room. So we were just like, okay, I think we recorded drums at that place, and then we recorded guitar and bass at the Music Box, which is where we practice, at like our practice space. And then like to finish it, and there's always like basically every band in Oklahoma City practices at the place that we practice at. So like to catch it at a time where nobody else is practicing or anything is kind of a crapshoot. So we were just like, fuck it, let's just record vocals at my house. And like, yeah, we just basically turned on Vibe lights and like set up like his like laptop and speakers like in this room, and then like ran the cables into the next room. And it was honestly like a really comfortable way to record vocals and everything. So have that be our first time recording. It was dope. It was fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like that story. Reminds me of this time I do like, you know, podcasts in person sometimes. I got a couple more coming up very soon, but did one with my friend Bubba. He sings for a band out here called Whirlwind, and he had the bright idea. He's like, hey, like let's do it in our practice spot. It's like low key. There's like not many people that go there.
Yeah.
And the first time we tried, just so happens that there was a band down the hall, and we'd never seen these kids before, but they were covering Turnstile for like an hour straight. And it was just funny because like we're just sitting in a Whirlwind's practice room just waiting for them to be done, because they were already there by the time we got there. So we figured, you know, they would leave at some point, but we literally sat there for an hour on our phones, just laughing, because we're trying to figure out like who those people were, and it was just very surprising that we'd never seen them at shows before, but they're just like covering Turnstile for like an hour straight, and that meeting turned out like, you know, terrible. Like we didn't even record that time. We had to meet up, you know, a couple more times to actually lock it down, but. Yeah.
Was it old Turnstile though? Or
no,
like
no. This was
like low on Turnstile.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
New Turnstile. Yeah, it was very interesting, because obviously I know how big Turnstile is, right? They went on tour with Blink-182, the big deal. But yeah, it was just like, wow, these like kids are influenced by this awesome hardcore band. Crazy.
That is wild.
And your friend that wanted to, record, are they still doing that?
Yeah, and he's doing even more shit now, like
a lot more. It seems like, yeah. And I mean, we recorded with him every single time. We're gonna record with him again, actually. So he's just kind of like our producer now.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome. I love that loyalty, right? Sticking together. I think it's cool too, right? Because it's cool to be able to kind of see like each other grow, right? Like, you know, he gets to see you guys grow as a band, and then you get to see him grow like technically with his craft.
Yeah. And even if you listen to our stuff, you can tell with each release how much better he's gotten at recording this shit. You know, it's like every release he's done better. He's done other artists too, like Otis VCR, who we mentioned earlier, which that shit sounds awesome. They basically just sound like young Angel Dust and Turnstile, actually. And they're really good. So
right. I gotta tap in because I'm not familiar.
Yeah, Otis VCR,
they're one of the best bands from here.
Straight up. If you talk to anybody from Oklahoma City, like they'll tell you they're the best like young band, probably. There's some other really good ones too. If you don't mind me just like shouting out.
No, dude, prop up the scene. I love it.
There's a lot of like really cool like young bands. You know, like Fungus is really good. They're
Polio.
Yeah, Polio is really cool.
Those names are funny to say. They're cool. They're like, you know, heavy power violence type stuff.
Yeah. Caustic, which we mentioned earlier, they're like Baby Power Trip kind of, you know, like really good. Diced from Tulsa is also really good. They're not young kids or anything, but they're awesome. There's also all the people like our age still doing shit too. Like
Inside You, Sledge,
Cell.
Agony, just all those bands. Peeling Flesh, obviously.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, we're staying a lot more busy as a city than we used to be. That's for sure.
Yes, and I want to get to that in a second, but I'm curious about the artwork for the promos. There's the recurring guy that, like, is it like a hazmat suit or?
That's Psycho Guy, man.
Can you talk about that? Like, where did it? Whose idea came up with that?
Yeah.
Dude, did James just kind of draw the?
Okay, but we had talked about like having just some
like
fucker,
a mascot kind of guy, you know,
some fucker on our art, and then yeah, our drummer, he makes shit, you know, and like I was like, hey, could you draw like a little fucker with like, you know, flamethrower? And he's like, yeah. And we just, so that just turned into who we now refer to as Psycho Guy, which is our second track on our promo 23.
Yeah.
But yeah, we felt for like the promos era, you know, like have that be like a recurring theme to kind of tie those two together was like, I thought it was really cool. I really liked it.
I thought it was cool. Yeah.
So, and it's really simple art, you know, it's literally just our logo and a color, you know, and then Psycho Guy. But I fucking love it. I think it's cool. So,
and any chance Psycho Guy will return?
I think Psycho Guy's dead.
I don't know. Probably not.
I think he's been murdered with a machete.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to say never, but I think we're ready to kind of try out some other shit now.
Maybe on some merch or something.
Yeah, we got him on stickers right now.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's not like he's completely gone, and like probably will show up like on stickers and shit like that. But like as far as like mainstay art, like for our album, probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And who did the logo?
Our drummer James.
He does he does graffiti.
Yeah.
So he just kind of whipped it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I enjoy it, and I like that you guys went with the number 4 instead of the word 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it too. It's funny, like when we were coming up with different names and stuff, I hadn't really considered having a number in there until
Me neither. Yeah.
until we landed on this name specifically, and we were just like, I kind of like that, you know.
Which that's funny. That's how the whole the split came about in the first place.
Right.
There's like one of our friends here, Ronnie. I think he messaged me or somebody. He's like, y'all should do a split together just because you both have a 4 in the name. We're like, okay, and then we asked them, and then we just did it. That was how that.
Yeah, and there was like no prior relationship with those guys in Out for Blood.
Very like a little bit. Our drummer knew Kyle for a while.
Okay.
Besides that, yeah, we didn't know them at all.
Yeah.
So
I had never met them, so.
Oh, I like how it worked out, right? Because you know, because of the split, it led me to wanting to do this today. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it kind of opened our eyes up to like what's going on in the Twin Cities, because I didn't know what the fuck was going on up there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably had no clue what was going on in Oklahoma City.
I don't think they did. Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of cool how that just happened. And literally just like Twitter DM, just like, hey, like y'all want to do a split? And they were like, basically no hesitation. They were like,
yeah.
Yes. It was sick.
That's nice. I've tried to broker some splits, and it got really awkward because like I was like the common person between like the two bands, and I reached out, and they were like, one band wasn't interested, and I'm like, wow, now I have to be the guy to deliver the bad news, and it wasn't fun. But I'm happy that you guys were able to just get it done with ease. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Got pretty lucky, honestly. I feel like doing a split either with like a band from your state or like just from somewhere random is really fun, so
yeah, because I feel like they're gonna their audience is gonna have eyes on it and might not be familiar with you guys, and same with like your audience, they might not be familiar with Out for Blood. So I think it was a good thing. I'm a fan of the split, obviously, because I'm here. But yeah, I'm happy it worked out good.
I'm glad too. It really did too, because like we got to, at least I got to meet like people not even from Out for Blood, but just like random kids from Twin Cities, like at the fest that happens in Tulsa every year called Flyover, and like we opened up that fest this past year, and like Kyle like brought probably 30 Twin Cities kids just for the whole weekend, but like they were there to also catch our set, like first set, noon on Friday, and like, you know, at some point during the set, I'm like, this is for Out for Blood, and you just see 30 Twin Cities motherfuckers just like destroy the pit, and it's sick. It's very cool.
Yeah, that was the video that's on Hate56 right now, correct?
Yeah, you can see that.
I didn't realize that was the first set of the day, because there's a lot of people in there.
There was
a
reaction.
line like around the building while we were playing, apparently.
Yeah,
which I thought was crazy.
We started 2 minutes early. Because I was feeling ridiculously antsy and just ready to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was like a line out the door and around the corner when we were starting, and the room was already pretty full.
I was not expecting that personally at all. So yeah,
unbelievable. Yeah, really cool reaction.
Yeah, and it's been very cool to see that Fest just kind of like grow like over the years. Because I've had friends in bands from out here that have traveled and played, and I've always wanted to go, but it just doesn't work with my schedule. Right, it hasn't worked with my schedule. But it's been cool to just watch it grow and just see, like it's like it seems like every year it's just like slowly getting bigger and bigger. Can you talk about what that's like, for you guys, since that's like where you guys are from, to have like a cool fest like that, to attract a bunch of people who may not even ever think about going there?
Yeah,
it's crazy, dude. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to believe, honestly.
It's still a shock.
It really is. Even just like 2-3 years ago, this wouldn't even be happening.
Right.
Not to like the degree that it is now.
Right.
Like it's crazy.
We had always had previously like Promcore out of Tulsa, and like that was also Aaron. But then there were like other fests.
There was another fest called Flyover that somebody else used to do. But even that was nowhere near the size of like what it is now.
Right.
Yeah. It's just completely different.
It's wild because like during that time that I had left, you'd said that like it was kind of bleak as far as like just normal shows go.
It was, there were a lot of reasons for that. I feel like, people from other places could kind of say the same thing. I don't know. I don't know. I think just like, during quarantine, a lot of people got interested and just even people that kind of, went away for a while. They were like, oh, I want to get back into this, Like quarantine just kind of did that for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's been really crazy to have a fest here that like not only like everybody in the scene here is really involved in and is talking about year round, but also to have people that like we've met just like being on the road, like in passing from like other cities, like in the Fort Worth area and like Springfield, Illinois, and just like different pockets of hardcore, like making the trek to come out. And then I don't know, I always feel like I start the weekend with like a very full social battery, and then like by the end of it I'm just like, holy shit, I think I've met everybody in this room. And they're all not from here. It's really cool.
Yeah, hardcore fests get exhausting for me because I'm like just I'm not like introverted, but I just don't like being around a lot of people. So like whenever I do make the trip out to things, I'm just like, all right, here we go. It's going to be a long weekend. But I always try to make the best of it. But it's crazy to see like obviously like last year's lineup, right? Because for me, I always like look at like the calendar year. It's like, okay, like FYA is like the first fest of the year, right? They always start off at the beginning of January, and I've always said that I feel like they set the tone for like fests for like the rest of the year. And then, just like, things pop up throughout the year. And it's crazy, right? Because if you look at like, Sound and Fury had their announcement, Tied Down in Detroit had their announcement, LDB is happening in a couple of weeks. And, I feel like they have a crazy different lineup. And then, I'm not. I don't know if the fest is happening again for you guys like later this year, but it's just I feel like it's grown to a point where it's like, all right, that's like a big like marquee fest now. It's not just like a regional thing anymore.
It's crazy. It's crazy that it's I don't know, like in the same talking points.
I mean,
as like some of those.
dude,
other...
Oklahoma used to be so tiny. I'm talking about like everybody knew each other. You know, it was like not a big group of people, but now it's I don't know, it's insane.
There are people at every show that I'm like, okay, where'd you come from? Who are you? I've never seen you before. You know what I mean? It's cool. It's a cool time.
Especially, to see some of those bands in Oklahoma too that I never thought would come to Oklahoma ever.
Yeah.
Like, most of the bands that played have never played in Oklahoma.
Right.
Ever.
Twitching Tongues.
King Nine. Just
King
all,
Nine, yeah.
It's so cool. Yeah.
It was very surreal to see the room like packed for those bands too. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I can imagine something like that, like bringing so much like positive energy into the scene and like inspiring people, because it's just like, hey, like I'm in this scene. These big bands are coming out. Like the local bands are up there, tearing it up. You guys are like packing out the place like right at the beginning of the day. So I think it's really awesome for something like that to be able to happen, because I feel like sometimes there could be like too many fests, whatever, but I feel like whatever, if there's something cool happening in your hometown, you should definitely go out and support, because you don't know who it's gonna inspire or surprise. Because like you guys said, like some of those bands have never played there before, but they could show up, experience this crazy fest, and then that could be the driving force to want them to just get back out there to play again, not even on a fest, maybe just tour through there.
Yeah, I think the smaller mid-sized fests are like really good ways for just like bands that are working right now to just like come and meet other bands that are doing the same exact shit that you are. You know what I mean? Flyover, I know that we've got like some big bands like this past year, like God's Hate and King Nine and Twitching Tongues, but the root of that fest is definitely to showcase like the working hardcore band, like alongside these like massive names too. Because like that's who you're gonna see on like a Tuesday night in your city, right? You know what I mean? So like that is not gonna change about that fest. Yeah, I don't know why I'm kind of rambling now, but yeah, that's.
No, I definitely get what you're saying, because like for me, like I'm out here in Southern California, right? And it's like there's like all like the big bands from out here that play all the time, that travel, that do awesome stuff. Like that's cool. But when I look at like, Flyover Fest, I'm like, I want to go to see bands like Prevention, right? Like there's like, those kinds of bands that haven't had a chance to make it out west yet, or are on the come up. I feel like those times, like getting to catch a band like on the come up when they're right about to hit, I feel like those times are just like really fun, and obviously like it's still fun afterwards when they get big and do cool stuff too. But I just love being in those moments. Like that's what I always look forward to, like when I travel. It's like, all right, cool. Like I get to see bands that I haven't seen yet, or bands that normally don't make it out to the West Coast. So like that's what gets me excited. Because like as much as I love like the Twitching Tongues, the God's Hates, like they play everywhere. So I get to see them a lot. But like it's like those like bands on the come up that I haven't seen yet that get me like really excited.
Hell yeah. Yeah, which speaking of Prevention, they had the set of the fest
easily. Yeah.
Like they absolutely dominated that Flyover. It was sick.
Yeah, and that's cool too, because had the singer on like years ago, because I saw like a video of them on Hate 56. I forget the name of the record store that's out there, but I saw a video of them playing that record store. I was like, oh, this band's sick. So I just reached out to the singer. He was super nice, and like I've been rooting for that band ever since.
Yeah. Was it like somewhere in Missouri or something? Because I think I've seen that video.
Honestly, I couldn't remember. I would have to look it up, to be honest.
That's fair. No, I get you. But
Yeah, and it's cool too, because I feel like the goal is always to like top the fest like the following year. So it's just like I'm just like looking at last year's lineups, like damn, like what are they going to do next year? Because it's as they bring in like the bigger bands, it gains more popularity, right? And they inspire more people locally. Like it's like this like snowball effect. So I'm just always curious. So like it's just fun being able to watch that just grow.
Yeah. As much as it is to kind of bring eyes to Oklahoma for sure, because I think we have great bands here.
Yeah.
I think the primary function also for that is to show these kids that are like seeing all this shit for the first time that it's like, hey, like you're gonna be doing this, like pretty soon, like just keep fucking playing, because they're making shit like way cooler at their age than I was like in high school. You know what I mean? Like way cooler. So it's in a way hopefully helping kids stay encouraged to, hey, like you may not get on every show, but just keep working at it, and like this is literally going to be yours like very soon. So
yeah, and I feel like that's the goal, right? We should kind of prop up the younger generation, right? Just kind of I feel like just kind of like nudge them in the right direction. Obviously, I feel like it's best if they like figure it out for themselves, but just kind of set like some sort of path and just be like, hey, like like you said, like all like what the big bands are doing, that's attainable, right? Like that could be you. If you stick around, the band you're in right now might not be the hottest, it might not be the best band, but if you stick around, you might find the members, or you guys just might decide to switch up the sound, and that could be like the missing ingredient. I feel like it's cool, right? Yeah, because for me, for as long as I've been around, like I've seen people who just kind of stick to it, and maybe gone through a couple bands, or maybe even their first band. I've seen people who hey, this is my first band, and they're doing crazy tours. So it's just like, yeah, I feel like as long as people are willing to put in the work and be dedicated, like it can definitely work out.
Yeah. It's definitely sticking with it, because the skill really does come. Like the skill to like make good songs for the most part. Like I've seen people who were not making very good songs very long ago, like in like a couple years, like turn that around. So I mean, like it doesn't really take a whole lot to just stick with it, and that's what I hope we can encourage for our young kids here. So
yeah, for sure. Just try to like I always tell everybody, like, hey, you don't have to be best friends with everybody, but I feel like if I feel like if you have a strong scene, I feel like that should be like what matters, right? Because scenes, obviously, like we saw during the pandemic, like without the work being put in, like this thing isn't guaranteed, right? With shows, bands, just like all this, it all takes work from everybody.
Yeah, it's an entire ecosystem for sure. Like people coming to shows often is just as important as like a kid picking up a guitar for the first time. Like it's all everybody collectively, so
all right. You guys, by the time this comes out, I think you guys will already be on the road. Can you talk about how this tour came together, and who figured out the routing? Because you guys are starting in Denver, correct?
Yeah, so
routing was you, definitely.
Yeah. So I did the routing for this tour, but we're going with our friends Big Shot from the Hudson Valley, New York. Also, shout out, Jake lives in San Antonio, but still kind of a New York man. So, but yeah, like they, which I'm going to talk about Big Shot for a second. They are probably one of the most underrated hardcore bands right now.
Easily. They're so
it's
good.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's a matter of time before they're doing a lot more shit, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
They have an insane sound to me.
Yeah.
At least, they're just like insane riffers like the entire time. But anyway, so we're starting in Denver, which we could have started here, you know, but I think I wanted to just like get us out on the road. So, but wait, you hooked up the Denver show, didn't you?
To an extent, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it, yeah.
So Convulse is putting that show on over in Denver, and then the next day we swing out to Salt Lake City area, and after that we're going out to Vegas, and then we're doing Tempe, Arizona, and playing with Hard Luck. So yeah, that'll be cool. And then Albuquerque, we hit OKC, and then we finish in Dallas. Yeah. So
now I'm just curious, right? Just because I'm so biased when it comes to California, you guys are coming so close to California. Not a single California date. Is there a reason for that?
I mean, we all definitely want to go out there
for sure.
It's a matter of when we can do it. I would say maybe next year we can do it.
Yeah,
we definitely all want to do. We want to hit like everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry about that. We'll come out there eventually, for sure.
Yeah, no, it's all good. And what's crazy is because Vegas is on a Sunday, right?
I think so. It's on St. Patrick's Day, whatever day of the week that is.
Yeah, I'm literally going to be in Vegas the day before, and I fly home that morning.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's painful.
Yeah, so it's just like because I was looking at the dates and I was like, damn, why does that date sound familiar? And it's because I'm going to a concert that Saturday, but like I have work, so I'm not taking any time off. I'm literally working my Saturday shift, heading straight to the airport, flying straight in. Like I'm not bringing any clothes because I'm flying in, going to the concert, right after the concert, heading back to the airport, and then flying home in the morning.
Oh man, that's quick.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I was like, damn, why does that date sound so familiar? And then I got bummed. I was like, geez, I was like, I wish I didn't have to fly home.
Yeah, man, that would have been cool to meet you. Yeah. But we'll definitely come out to your area at some point for sure.
And I also just curious about Texas too. Why Arlington? No diss to Arlington, but why Arlington over any other city?
Well, now it's in Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the original place that got moved. So now it's Dallas. And the reason ending there is even though most of Big Shot lives in New York, Jake lives in San Antonio. So I tried, that one was kind of like a last minute, like, well, if Jake's going to go home, Dallas is not that far for us. It's like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So we were just like, why don't we just like, plus like homies in Grimoire, they were like, why is there no Dallas show? And we're like, okay, all right. So we're like, okay,
that's a stacked show. That's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy because there's a lot of really good bands in the DFW area anyway, but that collection of bands,
it's like 7 bands on that show, I think.
Yeah.
All great bands.
So. Yeah, true. First time seeing and playing with Ballista, and I know that they've been doing a fuck ton of shit in Dallas.
Yeah.
So
I think they just came through California like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. They've been on the road. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, there's some bands that it just seems like they're always on tour.
Yeah. That's what's up. I mean, it's a good time to be out on the road right now. Like, there's a lot of love in a lot of these cities, so it's like, I mean, that's a big reason why we're trying to get out on the road too, is like just see different scenes that we haven't been exposed to yet,
Mm-hmm. And no international dates, no Canada for you guys?
Oh, well. I mean, yes.
I'm not okay. Well,
but that's all we'll say.
Nothing else from there. But yes.
Okay, soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's awesome that you guys are able to, go on this run, right? And have you guys, this is your first time hitting these like cities, or is this? Oh,
yeah.
a lot of the cities, my first time even going to.
Same here. I have never been to Colorado either. Like I haven't been to most of these places.
Yeah.
So
I've been to Denver one time. So twice, but for very brief moments of time. I'm interested to see how my cardio holds up in the mountains.
Man. Yeah.
Oh, dude, you're gonna feel it because I went to Denver when I was like 17 for a show, and we were out there for like probably I think like 4 or 5 days, and I didn't think elevation was like that serious. But when we got to the show and we started getting active, I was like, oh crap! Like I'm feeling it right now. This is insane because when we were in the city just hanging out, we were like at our like homie's house doing like a barbecue, nothing super crazy. But when we got to the show, that's where I really felt it, and I wasn't prepared. I was like, "Oh, this is insane."
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I'm just
I don't know
gonna
what to expect.
I'm just gonna be like wheezing into the mic, basically, just
Yeah.
trying to jump around.
Yeah, I want to get back out to Denver. There's some cool bands out there. Like I'm a huge fan of that band, A Wide Man from Denver. Yeah. And then the Flower Language share some of the same members. Yeah, awesome band. But
the two bands that we're playing with are really awesome too. Trajectory and Pressure Drop, both really good bands. You have some friends and some other
Pressure
bands.
Drop, yeah.
Yeah. So isn't there another band though that?
Well, he's in Eating Grin also.
Yeah, which that band is crazy.
Which they're also members of like Mouth for War and
That explains
to the chest. Yeah,
that explains it.
yeah.
Because they're crazy sounding. So,
and who's on the Vegas date?
Demon Back is one of them, I think.
I don't remember.
And then I can't remember the other band, to be honest. But I'm stoked to go out there. For
yeah,
real.
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Vegas has an awesome scene. Yeah, my buddy book shows out there, and like I just like see like his videos. It's just like damn, because like in like the early 2000s, I used to frequent Vegas a lot. But then like the 2010s, I haven't really gone out as much, and then now I've been wanting to go out, but it's just hard with like getting time off just because I have like other things planned. So it's just like, all right, like it has to like line up with my schedule for me to make it out there, and just nothing's been able to work yet.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, Vegas does look crazy. Like you're right. Every video that I see come out of there, I'm just like, yeah. Also, Chasm from there is fucking awesome.
Yeah, shout out Chasm. My buddy Jet plays in that band.
Oh fuck yeah. That band rocks. They just tore up OKC with Cruelty like not too long ago.
Sledge also they did. Little Run with Sledge.
Shout out Sledge. Yeah.
That's crazy. And you guys, have you ever been to Vegas before, or is it the first time?
No, this will be my first time.
Yeah, interesting place. I don't think I could live in like like where like the Strip is, but like outside, like in like the surrounding cities, like Henderson or something. Like I could live because it's just like a normal like suburb, nothing crazy. But Vegas is very interesting.
I'm told that like outside of the Strip, it's like not that big of a town. It's like a normal city. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is that true, or is that not correct?
Well, it just depends because you could go to like but it will just depend on which way you go, because there's like Henderson, which is like off like not too far, maybe like 30-40 minutes, just depending on how deep you get in. And then there's like Summerlin, which is like probably where I'd want to live because it's nice over there too. Like the Red Rock Casino's over there. But when I used to go out there, my buddy's parents, they lived on like the north side, and like we would crash there, and like dude, he would have shows in his living room, which like to this day is like insane. Like I've seen like Cruel Hand in his living room, Suicide Silence in his living room, and it's like yeah, I'm like, your parents are insane and awesome at the same time for letting this happen, but this is just crazy.
That's so sick.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys have a good time in Vegas, because yeah, Vegas is fun, and it's crazy too because it's just like it's just like the casinos are always open, so like it's very different.
Yeah, we're definitely gambling the band fund away for sure.
Oh man, yeah. It gets addicting. I always had to like stay away because I just like to like just gamble fast. So I would just go to like roulette and just start throwing money down.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time I'd lose. I won like a couple times, but most of the time I just walked away with less money than I started.
Damn.
Yeah.
I've actually like I've been to a casino, but I've never gambled. So like we're in Vegas, so I want to do it. You know what I mean? But
You gotta give yourself a limit.
yeah, exactly.
$10.
I have a feeling that like once it start, holy shit,
Yeah.
it won't end well for me.
Well, hopefully the band doesn't make too much money that day.
Yeah, straight up. Straight up.
Okay. And you guys have a show in April,
Yeah.
late April, which is pretty cool with Fugitive and Caustic.
Oh,
Yes.
that show. Yeah.
Yeah, that was put together by our friends Caustic is the one who asked us to play that show.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we're stoked to play that one. That'll be cool. We have quite a few like cool shows happening in April. There's that one in OKC, but then we're going out.
Springfield.
Yeah, we're hitting both Springfields. We're going to Springfield, Illinois, and Missouri with our friends from Tell Eyes. And Tell Eyes, that's Aaron from Flyover. So like we're gonna hit those two because Aaron texted me. He's like, dude, I want to play Dumb Records. Like I'm like, we can play Dumb Records. Let's go. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna play a day before that I don't think we're
right. What is that again?
well, I don't think we can talk about just yet, but because it's not announced. But it's not my show to announce. I'll say that.
Okay.
But we're playing another show. It's all I'll say is it's in Texas. So we're going back to Texas. in April.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
there you
right.
go. So
Okay. And how far is that drive from where you guys are to like Dumb Records?
it's like 9 hours.
Okay.
It's a drive.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like anything over like 2 hours, I'm like, oh, is it worth it? Do I want to go?
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, Dallas is like, close enough where it's like, okay, like if it's on a weekend for sure, it can happen. But like on a weekday, you can still justify it potentially.
Mhm.
Whereas like if we're going to see our friends in Springfield, Illinois, it's got to be on a weekend, So, because that's a drive.
Yeah. And who made that flyer for the double Springfield?
Val, he's from Tulsa, and if you've seen anything come out of OKC the last like year, you've probably seen his work on Backrooms flyers, which Backroom is like where most of the hardcore shows are happening in OKC. But yeah, like he just killed it with that flyer.
Yeah. I'm like looking, I'm like, damn, this is only 2 dates, but this flyer's fucking insane.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just like I texted him. I was like, "Hey, can you make a flyer with like nukes and explosions on it for like 2 days?" So, and he killed it. So
Yeah. He's like, say
we
less.
wanted to
Got
make
you.
it a. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
We wanted to make it a fun thing, like for the weekend, So
Should put that on a t-shirt.
I mean, shit.
It's not too late.
Maybe we should. I mean, yeah, we're stoked. We're stoked to be playing with Tell Eyes because, like, I don't know, like going out of town with a band from Oklahoma is like always fun.
Yeah.
We're just like, okay, we got a team here. So
Yeah, we actually haven't done that yet, right? This is the first time.
this is the first time we've
Yeah.
done it for this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we've played out of town and like met other people.
Right. But
From
not like
Oklahoma.
gone like with them. Yeah.
Right. So, which Tell Lies, they're like, they're also kind of an underrated band out of Oklahoma, in my opinion. They're for all the swoopy hair emo moshers out there.
I feel like there's a lot of that out there these days.
There are,
Definitely. There's a lot of everything right now.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, which has me curious because I feel like the like heavy era is like slowly coming to an end, but I'm just not sure what's up next, right? Like what's the like who's going to be the next big band with like a new like definitive sound?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's been like a post-COVID era, you know, where it's like you get like a lot of the flat spot bands like Speed and like Scowl and like all, you know, like all those kinds of bands that like have exploded out of this era. But like there haven't been like too many like since then, like this year, for example. I can't think of too many like breakout bands to like just appear and just dominate the way that those bands have. So I feel like this is like not a lull, but it's like this is definitely like an encapsulated era that is not ending, but it's just like we're currently in the middle of it right now, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because to do what, you know, what Scowl has done or is doing, when you look at a band like Drain, or even if a band like Tsunami, right? They booked like their, you know, full US tour, every date sold out, stuff like that. Yeah, it's just like it's hard to you know, compete with that right now.
Yes. Yeah. Massive bands. It's crazy.
Yeah, and all nice people too, which is crazy. Right? You'd think there'd be like some egos or something weird, but no, they're all just nice, humble people. And they all, you know, if you think about the Tsunami, Scowl, Drain, all like from like almost like the same area, right? All NorCal bands. It's wild.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think that is really cool that like just a part of the country can have like that many bands just like be that talked about with everybody. You know what I mean? Like it's cool.
Yeah, but I feel like they it just like they're all very like prideful, like, you know, of their scene, which I think is very important. But then on top of them being, you know, nice people, they all work really hard and they all write great music. So it's like, yeah, it's just like this crazy like combination of like they've got it all.
Yeah, that's what's up. Love to go out to that area for a show at some point.
Same here. You know, I live in California and I've never been up there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're Southern California, so that's a drive for you, right?
Yeah, it's like 7-8 hours, just depending on like traffic.
That's like driving to Drum Records right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna go in 2020. Somebody posted this Drain record release flyer that they weren't supposed to post, and it was like Twitching Tongues, Drain, and a bunch of awesome bands. And I was just like, okay, I was like, this is it. This is the time that like I got to go up there, because this would be a great first show for me going up there. But then it got canceled because of COVID, and then it just hasn't happened again. And there's been awesome shows up there since then, obviously, but I just haven't gone up there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but maybe one day like even like with the bands that have been established, like, you know, the Tsunamis, the Scowls, there's newer bands popping up that are awesome. There's like a band up there called Summer Blue, which is like one of like my favorite bands. Like I tried booking them before they even played their first show, and they're just like, dude, like we got to play our first show at home. We can't just go down to Southern California to play for you. And I was like, that's fair. I get it, respect, but I'm just like a huge fan.
Hell yeah. That's sick. Do you book a lot of shows out there?
No, I'm like in this constant struggle of like wanting to quit booking shows, but then I hate that like, you know, we don't get good shows all the time. So it's like, you know, it's like, oh, I guess I got to try to put in effort to make it happen. But then when I do, you know, then there's like the business side, and you know, then there's like personal shit. There's all these like layers. I was like, man, like I just want to book a show. People have to, you know, it's like so much of that I have to deal with, which I just wish I didn't. Wish I could just book a show with no stress. But I imagine everybody else deals with probably a lot crazier stuff than I do. But I do have a show.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I feel like there's always logistics to have to deal with, like. So I feel you.
Yeah, but I do have a show. It's not announced yet, and I can't announce it. Like I wish I could just announce it, right? Like as much as I would just love to break the news, I can't. But middle of May, I can say that. Just middle of May, the flyer's done, the bands are booked. Just you know, keep a lookout. hopefully it'll be announced soon. I think there's just like some like business stuff that has to get taken care of before it can get announced. But yeah, nothing crazy, nothing big. Just a really fun show.
Love that. I love fun shows.
Yeah. But I'm trying to do more. But at the same time, I want to do more and less at the same time. But like when my friends hit me up that play in awesome bands, they're like, hey, like we want to come through. I'm just like, all right, please come through. Like as much as I don't want to book it, like I will because I want it to happen here in Orange County. Because like every awesome show happens in LA. So it's like cool. It's not far. I'll drive to LA, no issues. But it'd be cool to have it come to Orange County as well. Because I love when bands will hit like LA, Orange County, San Diego. And it's like, all right, cool. We can do this crazy 3-show run or do 2 out of the 3 or 1 out of the 3. But I just love it when bands come through here just because there's good bands. But it just seems like we're just lacking in shows sometimes.
Yeah. That's very interesting. I wouldn't have realized that's the case over there, but that's interesting.
Yeah, just look at the tours that come through here. Orange County's absent on a lot of them, which is fine. Like it happens because like we're so close together, right? Like LA is not that far, depending on which part it is. Like compared to Orange County, and then San Diego is like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just depending on traffic. So
yeah,
but hopefully. Just squeeze us in or get us on an off day. You guys, people tour through here. They're like, oh, like, we want something to do. Ring my line. Make it happen.
Hell yeah. Well, I'll definitely have to keep Orange County like on list of places to come out to. So
yeah, come out. There's programs out here. There's some cool DIY spots. So we can figure it out.
That's what's
up. Okay. And earlier, Jordan, you mentioned that you guys were working on an EP. Is there like any like timetable for that, or is it still pretty early on in the process?
Well, the songs are pretty much written. We're kind of just like in the like Ty and our drummer know most of the songs. Kind of just like in the learning process for the rest of the members, and then gonna record like later this year, probably in the fall. But that's kind of all we have for it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really excited about these songs, especially.
Yeah, I think that if you like what our sound is, I think you're really gonna like the EP. So, we're still kind of like early as far as like playing it together, but I've been sitting on most of these songs for a while, and they've been hashed and rehashed, and like I'm feeling good about them. So,
and how do you get to that point where you're like, all right, I think this is it. This is the final product, without getting too into it and wanting to rewrite it again?
I feel like it's easy to like. It's weird because this band like is pretty riffy, especially with where we're going. So it can be really easy to like overthink certain aspects because I like a lot of detail.
Same here. Us two, probably more than anyone else in the band. We like adding just like shit everywhere.
Yeah.
And everyone else, come on. But,
it's mostly me just adding more guitar intricacies mostly, and like just like extra like backup vocals and like stuff like that. But like it does come to a point where it's like, okay, like I've heard this enough to where like although I'm saying all of this right now, I know I'm gonna probably change some stuff even
definitely
between like now, because like I will say this, we just recorded like just like an internal demo of like one of the songs that we're doing, and like even after we did that, I like started changing some harmonies, and I'm just like, what am I fucking doing, man? Like I just can't like let the song exist, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but that is kind of the point though of like having a demo, at least to be able to listen back and be like, okay, how can I make it just that much better? You know what I mean? So
And-
it's a hard process.
It's fun though. That's my favorite process. I mean, I'm not the one literally writing the music, but it's fun to see like how it starts and then how it ends up being.
Yeah.
So
Usually where you think it's going to go, it ends up being kind of different than what you
but
envision. But
it's
yeah,
always better. So it's fun to see that happen.
for sure.
And do you ever take a break from writing? Because obviously you mentioned that want to record towards like the end of the year, and that's we're still here pretty early on in the year. Do you like taking breaks, or are you always writing?
So for this band, I do most of the writing, and I don't know if there's really like a rhyme or reason to like when I decide to stop writing.
I think it's like I remember after you finished all the promo songs, we had like a set together. So he was kind of like, okay, that's it for now for a bit. And then I think that's just kind of how it goes. So then once we were ready to write new stuff, he kind of just like kept going until we had as many songs as we wanted,
Right.
and haven't really written anything new since just because like, that hasn't been recorded yet. So
Right.
I'm sure that once we record these ones, they'll start writing more new ones.
That's probably the natural cadence of like where we're at. Just because like I get so in the flow of just like playing shows on the music that we have that like on my spare time, that's once like I'm just playing those songs all the time, like that my spare time becomes okay. How can I incorporate this idea that I thought of years ago that I recorded on a clip on my phone?
Right. Yeah.
Like, and then like, I'm just like, okay, there's this one riff. How can I make a whole fucking song surrounding this riff? And that actually happens a lot, I think.
And honestly, I mean, all these songs have been done probably since like last summer. Well, most of them. So it's kind of just like,
other than one.
Other than one of them, a lot of it is like teaching everybody else the music. That takes probably the most time.
Right.
So that's kind of why we're like, probably in the fall we'll be ready to record. Otherwise, we could probably record now. Just because the songs are pretty much done. If we just had more time, we would just learn them now and record them. But yeah.
I mean, it takes time to learn them because I'm insane and I just like keep adding random shit, and like also we have 3 guitars in our band, so teaching like a bass player and then 2 other guitar players, it just making sure that all the schedules line up every
That's the
week.
hardest part.
That is the hardest part. We have 2 dads in the band, and I'm just like whatever you guys need schedule wise, I will be there. I will be there to make it happen. So
yeah, I was surprised to see 3 guitars when I watched that live set.
Yeah, that was the first time we did that.
Yep.
And then we just decided to keep it.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Like the only band that I could think of that had done that like long term was like a Man Overboard.
Wow,
Dude,
that's so random. Why?
That-
Why that band?
that is kind of funny. I don't know. We just thought it would be cool to do for Flyover,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just got to. We were just like jamming, and like during that process, and especially after that show, we were just like, do we just want to like do this like for where we can, if obviously like it doesn't have to be for every show, for like it's more so just like for scheduling purposes. If somebody can't make it, like it's no big deal, we'll still have 2 guitars, so but like for shows that we can make happen to have 3 guitars, it's like, why not?
Yeah, why
give
not?
everybody tinnitus?
Cool.
So
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm trying to think. Wait, God's has 3 guitar players too, right? I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
There's honestly a few bands that do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of them seem to be fest bands, just because like I say that just like you see it more at fests just because schedules and stuff, but like gonna be kind of just to have somebody on standby, ready to go on the road if we need them, like is handy for us. And it's also just somebody that we can jam with. His name's Steven. So
shout out Steven.
It's
Okay.
also cool live, in my opinion, to always have like two rhythm guitarists and you have one person doing leads.
Yeah.
You know, it just makes it sound more full.
or
So-
two leads that are harmonizing with each other.
Exactly.
That's fun.
Exactly.
Multiple dive bombs going on.
Yeah.
It's fun. So
And was it today? There's the article posted. You guys did that interview with was it Boulder Weekly?
yeah. So our friend Jeremy from here, from OKC, he's been doing a lot of like freelance writer work, and he did a write up for Cruelty, but I can't remember the name of the website off the top of my head. But he's been doing some work for like, you know, different publications, and like he just hit us up and was like, hey, like I want to do a write up for you guys, like for your tour, like, and that was really cool because it was kind of like this, you know, where it was just like all five of us. It was five of us on that one, but got to talk to him about just like kind of similar stuff that we're talking about. But yeah, it was super cool to see that go live earlier today.
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting. I love when bands are willing to kind of put themselves out there, because there's some bands that I listen to. I'm like, oh, they're cool. Like, I want to know more about them. And then there's like nothing on the internet. And I was like, oh, this is all right. Well, I guess I'm just going to enjoy the music and hope that somebody interviews them at some point. But yeah, but it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I thought that was like a good idea to do that right before you guys head out.
So cool. It was entirely his idea. It was just like, hey, you're going on the road. Like, can I do a write up? I'm like, that's so cool. But yeah, like being like doing interviews is fun. Like talking to people and like meeting people. I don't know what it is. Like not like right this second, but like sometimes the anticipation of like talking to someone new. I don't know, like putting yourself out there is a little bit intimidating. I don't know, like just in general, but it's also cool and worth it because you get to like meet people from, you know, Orange County, and like we're literally just guys from Oklahoma City, you know what I mean? So it's cool to do that, you know?
No, I agree. I sit here, and there's times where I'm having somebody on where there's no like mutual friend, or you know, no prior relationship. It's just me reaching out or them reaching out, and that, like, you know, that's our first time interacting, and I'm just like, all right, like this is either going to go good or it's going to go bad, but I feel like that's like always part of the fun for me. And I like, as much as like, you know, I'm like an introvert, I just love talking. I think that's why like I can do this so often, you know, multiple times a week. And for me, it's fun too, because for like, I feel like 99% of the time that I have people on, I'm a fan of, you know, their music or their art or whatever. And it's just a great way for me to be able to just like, you know, pick their brain and, you know, just ask questions that obviously that I want answers to, but, you know, questions that I think other people would want to know as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So more bands. Stop trying to be all mysterious and cool.
Not being anxious. Talk to people.
Yeah, like I'm going to LDB in a couple weeks, and there's a band. I don't want to say it now because I don't want to like jinx it, but there's a band that's playing that I like, and I was like, oh, like I wonder if somebody in the band would be down to do an interview, and like well, this is the situation where like I don't have like any like relation to them, and I reached out and they were down, so I'm like, oh cool, this is awesome. But now I'm just like, oh crap, this is like now I'm getting a little nervous because you know, they're nice online, but what if we don't like, you know, click in person, or what if they suck in person? And I'm just like, just hoping that it goes well in person. But also that I think that's part of the fun too, because I feel like if I knew the outcome of everything, it would be like kind of boring. But I'm very much looking forward to that. Going to LDB. I think I've said it publicly. I don't know, whatever. Going to LDB, doing like a couple interviews with a couple great bands. So it should be a really fun time. It's my first time going out there. I've never been out there before.
Oh yeah, this is a good year to go.
Oh yeah,
Straight up.
Yeah, should be fun. Shout out to my friend Tyler Short. He's like housing me and kind of showing me around.
Hell yeah, that's what's up, man.
But yeah, more interviews. Put yourselves out there. Yeah, because when I think about it, right, like you don't know who's going to be on that website, who's going to click that link. Like I found it because you guys posted it, but like I'm sure there's going to be some people who read that who might not be tapped in, and just hearing your guys' story and knowing that you're coming to town, I feel like that could get some people excited.
Hell yeah, I'm definitely excited to just go to a bunch of towns haven't been to.
Yeah,
Yeah. Are you guys going to do well on the road, or are you guys like traveling and being on tour?
So this is like our first like extended.
it is our first one. Already, just with the way we have everything set up, I feel like it's going to be pretty comfortable and easy. I don't know. Like the vehicle situation is pretty nice, honestly. It ended up working out. I don't know. It'll be fun. I mean, our drummer's toured way more than the rest of us. I haven't done any kind of tour in like 10 years, which is crazy. I think the same for you, right?
Yeah, just about.
So I think the last tour that I was on, you were on too.
Yeah,
like 10 years ago.
long time.
So it's been a while. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Just hanging out with each other. We don't really get to hang out all together that often outside of shows. So it's just going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Who's going to vlog it? That's the real question.
Right.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I didn't even consider that. Yeah.
Things we haven't considered at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, please vlog it. Because I feel like, everybody has a camera on their phone. It doesn't have to be like super professional, or it can be. I don't know. But I think it'd be cool to be able to capture those memories, because I feel like it's always fun to look back on like cool like milestones like that.
Yeah. We'll have to do that.
We'll definitely have to make some efforts to like capture every day like what's going on, because it will be our longest so far, but we will have a longer one later this year.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be on the road more. So but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we wrap up, I know you guys have already said a lot of positive things about your scene, but if you could just do it one more time, just talk about the scene, and just in any positive words for maybe like the younger generation out there listening.
If your band sucks, don't quit. Okay, just don't. That's the first thing I gotta say. Like, I've been in some shitty bands. Okay.
That's
Same
the
here.
thing is, well, not everybody. Most people are in shitty bands.
Mhm.
Like, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, if you like what you're doing, then you should do it, basically.
Yeah.
Because like that's how you get better.
Yeah.
So
And like, chances are, I mean, granted, it does happen where you keep playing and you just never get any better. But the amount of cases that's happened is far less than people who just stick with it. So don't fucking quit. Just keep going to shows. Keep playing your instrument. Keep playing with people. Keep playing with your band, but also play with other people too. Like, just like keep adopting like different things, because you never know like what thing you learn in 2024 is something that you're gonna pull out of your pocket in 2032, and like you'll be like, oh yeah, I learned this on this tour, like whatever, like that is, it's all additive. So shout out Backroom, The Sanctuary, Mass Movement, every fucking band from Oklahoma.
so many, like crazy amount of good bands here.
Yeah.
Like 20, 30 plus bands.
There's
No joke. Like even outside of hardcore too.
Yeah.
We have so many good bands.
a lot of talented people.
Yeah.
So shout out Oklahoma Hardcore. That's what Hardcore, baby. That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to do this. This was awesome. I'm, happy to have had both of you on today. Maybe we can do it again when the EP comes out.
Yeah,
that'd be sick.
that would be sick for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll have to let us know what you think about it.
Yeah, 100%. I'll give you my honest feedback, but I truly appreciate the time today. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll be back soon. Goodbye.
Peace.